Powered by Riverside FM.
Powered by Riverside.
What's up, UP? This is your host, Lionel Jones. Another episode of Unconventional Playbook. Glad to be back. Took a little hiatus yesterday, but glad to be back, giving you that content that you're hoping for. Beautiful, beautiful Wednesday here in the great state of Wisconsin, bordering the great state of Minnesota. You can't beat anywhere better than the Midwest United States. I mean, just a lot of beauty out there. A lot of exciting things. Mandatory minicamp, Minnesota Vikings, happening this week. Got all the players there. Got a chance to see J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson running routes out there. Pretty much the whole team is there. It's where you build chemistry. This is what everybody's waiting to see. It's limited to the media right now. Tomorrow, they'll be back on the practice field, allowing media to come in and just watch. For all intents and purposes, a little update on J.J. McCarthy. Doing some really, really good things. I think the one thing that comes out of training camp about J.J. McCarthy is how strong his arm is. I mean, this guy's got a whip. He can throw it. He can throw it. His arm has been vastly underrated. I think Minnesota Viking fans are going to be really surprised at how he gets the ball out. He's thrown a few picks in practice. He's thrown a few picks. And I think when you have a quarterback like JJ, where he's used to slinging the ball around at the college level, sometimes the speed in the college game obviously is not as good as the speed in the pro game. So when you see those little small windows, you can zing that thing in there. I think he's got to adjust to that. He's got to adjust to that on the pro level. For all intents and purposes, like things that are open in college are not going to be open in pros. So this is going to be a natural adjustment for him. But woo, J.J. McCarthy's got a sling. He can fire that ball. So everyone's saying, for his first go around this summer before training camp, J.J. McCarthy is looking good. Sam Darnold is looking good. Everything that I'm hearing is Sam Darnold's going to be the starting quarterback for the start of the season. I think a lot of people feel like, for JJ to be able to catch up to where Sam Darnold is going to take a lot. Not saying that he can't do it. I mean, he's going to have every opportunity to do it. KOC is going to give him every opportunity to do it. But there's a big gap between Sam Darnold and JJ right now. They're talking about having JJ just being the third string quarterback for the year and just have him sit and kind of marinate, see what game days are like, see what the prep during the week is like, and have Sam Darnold take the reins, which I have no problem with. I've said it before. I've been on record saying before, I think Sam Darnold's going to do some really, really good things. I think he's going to benefit from where he is in terms of being on a team with the Vikings with all these weapons. There's really no more excuses for Sam Darnold in terms of not being able to do it. This is a stable franchise, lots of weapons. I suspect he's under a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's going to earn himself a second contract elsewhere. I think J.J. McCarthy obviously is slated to be our franchise guy. They're going to give him that year to marinate. The only way I see Sam Darnold coming back here is if he just does some really, really incredible things and lights it up. But I think he's going to have a really good year. I can see him throwing close to 30 touchdowns and having 10 to maybe 15 picks, 10 to maybe 15 interceptions, which is a pretty good year. And I think anyone that's going to be on the quarterback market next year is going to be able to pick up a Sam Darnold, because I think ultimately he's going to have a really, really good year. I don't know if the Vikings are going to be a playoff team. I suspect that they're not going to be a playoff team. So I really don't have that expectation. If they get there, then obviously that would be a great deal for the Minnesota Vikings. But I see them as taking a step back this year, but making some really, really good things happen. Other news in training camp: Nikhil Harry, wide receiver extraordinaire for the Minnesota Vikings, switching to tight end. You know, he's always had that tight end body. 6'3", 6'4", 200 some odd pounds. I mean, the guy is a big wide receiver. He's always played wide receiver. Our wide receiver room is kind of stacked. And now they're switching him to tight end because of his pass catching ability and his speed. He's going to be tough for linebackers to match up with, tough for safeties to match up with. That's who usually covers the tight ends when we go man-to-man in coverage. So I think the move is going to give him an opportunity to get some time on the field, especially with TJ Hawkinson being out. It's looking like TJ may miss the first 4 to 6 weeks of the Viking season. So he won't be back until close to October. And so they need someone else to possibly fill that spot. I trust KOC and Kwesi. If they think this guy can come in there and play tight end and they can do some special things with him, I trust their judgment. Like I said, he's always had a tight end type body. He was always considered a big wide receiver. So switching him to tight end, I think the whole running route, catching passes, is going to be second nature to him. But can he run block? You know, part of that tight end is kind of being a hybrid offensive lineman. Is he going to be able to do that? So that remains to be seen. One thing I'm looking forward to, obviously, you know, I'm a big Timberwolves fan. Timberwolves had a great season, and I was really irked. I was really irked by the whole Dallas Mavericks thing. Credit to them. Played a great series. I didn't necessarily like the antics from Kyrie and his guy Luka. But I think they're going to be humble. And this is the great thing about this sport. This sport really finds a way to humble you around every turn. Just when you think you've got everything figured out, this sport really, really finds a way to humble you. And so I think Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, you know, they had a great run. They beat up on a young Oklahoma City team. They beat up on a young Minnesota Timberwolves team. Boston Celtics are a different monster. Scores everywhere. Defense everywhere. Versatile team, size. And guess what? A team full of savvy veterans who have been there before. So the honeymoon period that OKC and the Minnesota Timberwolves gave you is over. Now you're in a real series with the Boston Celtics. And I can't wait until tomorrow night to see what that looks like. I can't wait to watch these series of games where I can see Luka get humbled a little bit, where I can see Kyrie get humbled a little bit, because that's what's going to happen. The Dallas Mavericks stand no chance at beating the Boston Celtics. No chance. And you heard it here first on the UP. I told you that Justin Jefferson was going to sign his contract before the season started. I told you that the Minnesota Timberwolves, after being down 0-3, was going to win Game 4 and come back home and lose Game 5. You heard it here on the UP. Now I'm telling you, you can book it. The Dallas Mavericks stand no shot in beating the Boston Celtics in this series. Can't wait to see them get humble. I spoke last pod on the whole Caitlin Clark bounty is what I'm calling it, because obviously she's being targeted. Gino Auriemma came out today and said that this is expected in the WNBA and that Caitlin Clark is being targeted. Of course she is. Anybody with a neutral mind can see that. And so I received a little bit of backlash from my last pod about what side of the fence I was on. And it's just laughable to me because I'm a big basketball fan. I like to see the purity of the game. I like to see the competitiveness of the game. And I think people really misconstrue, or maybe it was just confusing on what I'm trying to say. I have no ill will against the women in the WNBA that are giving Caitlin Clark a hard time. I have no ill will against the cheap shots. Man, I've been there before. I've played a lot of basketball. That's part of the culture in basketball. When someone that's of a hierarchy comes into a league or comes into a team, there's always that hazing period. I hate to use the word hazing, but there's always that hazing period. People are out to prove that you're not as good as maybe you were in college. Or if you get traded or change teams, that you aren't as good as everybody said you are. And again, I think that's human nature. My point in terms of being misconstrued is this. I'm an advocate of women's basketball. I don't care whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Native American. If you can hoop, you can hoop. My tirade, the other pod, is I'm trying to get you smart, because I'm the WNBA's biggest fan. I want to see you succeed. And here's what I know. That up until now, the Caitlin Clark era, the WNBA is constantly losing money. The NBA supports the WNBA. So I'm in it for the longevity of the team. I'm in it for the longevity of the league. I want to see the league succeed by any means possible. I don't want to see the league go away. I don't want to see women's sports treated like a second-class sports industry. I want it to be right up there with the men. And I think the young lady by the name of Caitlin Clark gives you that opportunity. How can you argue that? Because the players that have been in the league have not been able to catapult the WNBA into the popularity that it's in now. And we've had some great players. So if there is a player out there that can change the landscape of the WNBA, I want to see that player succeed for the good of the league and for the good of the women that are playing in the league. It's just smart. Regardless of whether you like her or not, this league needs Caitlin Clark. You need her. You need her. So when I say embrace Caitlin Clark, it's not for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is going to be a multimillionaire. She's not going to have to worry about money for the rest of her life. She's going to be okay. But the question is, without her, is the league going to be okay? And so my whole tirade was, stop the foolishness and let's get the league together. I don't want to have to send our players overseas to make money. Let's get the league together now by any means necessary. Put your egos away. and let's grow the league. And to grow the league, you need Caitlin Clark. A lot of great things to talk about. This is the UP Unconventional Playbook. Lots of topics to cover. Can't wait to do a series of pods this week. Just got a lot of interesting things. People have been sending me in great topics to touch on and talk about. We're almost to 5,000 subscribers in less than a month, guys. Appreciate the love. Keep subscribing, keep listening. Love the emails, love the comments. Even if I don't agree with you, we can talk about it. This is a safe place. This is the UP. And I will see ya when I see ya.
Powered by Riverside.